Okay, so what we get here, and we got this very quickly, x squared minus 2x plus x minus 2. Okay? Now, the habit that you teach people in algebra is you can combine like terms. That would be the 2x and the x, negative 2x. Okay? But what I see a lot of times, what at least some people try to do here, is combine the x squared with the x. And that can't be done. So I'm going to show you why we can combine the negative 2x with the x. You might or might not remember what I do here, but I want to reinforce the fact that you can't do this with the x squared, okay? So now, we're talking about the distributive law, so I can say that's x squared. I can factor x out of these two terms. I get x times negative 2 plus 1. Right? Because clearly multiplying this by this is going to give me this. Well, that means I've got 3x plus 8 equals 7 times x squared plus x times negative 1 minus 2. Now, clearly, if I've got the same power of x here, I can factor out that power, and then I just get to add the numbers, right? If I had an x and an x squared, that wouldn't work, because one of these here would have an x on it. If one of these was an x squared, then one of these would have to have an x on it, in order that when I multiply it, I get the x squared back, and I can't simplify like an x plus 1, okay? So that's the reason, and I don't necessarily require that you know that reason, but that is behind the fact that you can only combine like terms. X is like with x. It's not like term with x squared. Okay? That's the rule. The reason is you can't do this factoring. So the distributive law wouldn't allow you to do it. Okay? And I want to kind of emphasize the distributive law. Okay? So we get this. Okay? Now, then we can distribute the 7, which you've been wanting to do for hours now. Okay? And as I say, it wouldn't have been wrong to distribute the 7. But that means you'd have been carrying bigger numbers through when you had to multiply the binomials. So you leave the 7 out there until the end. Now we do have to distribute it, so we're going to get 7x squared minus x minus 2. Okay? And I'll leave it to you to see how that gives us negative 7x squared plus 4x plus 10 equals 0. And now we have a quadratic equation in general form. So at this point we notice that the equation is quadratic, so that we know to put it in the general form so we can apply the quadratic formula. Okay?